And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes a guest. She's a writer, producer, composer, and co-host of the podcast Nobody's Listening, Right? It's Andy Rosen.
Oh.
And she's a writer, actress, and the other co-host of the podcast Nobody's Listening, Right? It's Elizabeth Laime. Tone Zone is here to reassure everyone that it's going to be okay. We're going to be just fine. Just make sure you have you are an actual billionaire. I'm her husband, Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say hello to your best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen. Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison with her the good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little pfeffernooses. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. That particular seasonal carbohydrate, which is one of my favorites, was sent in on Patreon by Ray Morgan. And yes, I am on Patreon. All sorts of fun stuff over there. You can get bonus episodes of my Patreon podcast, The Friend Zone. You can submit carbohydrates. You can see behind the scenes stuff and more. And if you're going to subscribe, which I hope you will, get an annual subscription and get 2 months free.
That's a good deal.
I also would be remiss if I did not mention that I am on Substack. I love that. AllisonRosen.substack.com. And I write about all sorts of stuff, including stuff that I can't say publicly. AllisonRosen.substack.com. Okay. I'd like to say hello to my guests. This is a very auspicious day because joining us in the studio, which you already know because you heard the intro. But if you just tuned in right now, here's news for you. It's Elizabeth Laime and Andy Rosen of Nobody's Listening Right. Hello.
Thank you for having us.
So excited to have you here. People have been wanting you guys to come on together for the longest time. And this is because I've had you both on separately. This is the first time.
Leave me hanging.
Oh.
Elizabeth was putting her hand out to Andy, but it almost seemed like you were pointing at him, like, now your turn.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's what I thought, too.
What's going to
Like, what am I
happen
supposed to
next?
say?
Yeah. I would also like to say hello to my husband, Daniel. Have you been reading a lot of political news? You have a heavy political news spirit.
You really want to know?
Well, is it about the climate, which you've already been talking to Tony
Well,
about?
if you know, why are you asking me?
Well, because there could be other reasons that you could have a I just read bad news vibe.
Most days since the election, I've been fine. I've been actually feeling great. Not great.
Happy, thrilled.
Well, just
Victorious and like,
all things
I was
considered.
right.
All
that's how he
things
felt.
considered, feeling like, okay. But I just was reading about the climate, the COP29 meeting this morning that's happening, and it bummed me out. So
Is that a new cop show?
yeah, it's the UN cop show. They take on climate change.
Ozone, what you gonna do? That's a really old reference because I guess the ozone's not a
that
problem
show's
anymore.
Definitely got to be going still.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh no, I meant the ozone was the old reference.
Oh,
'Cause
nobody
no one worries about it anymore.
We were so
Really?
worried about the
I
ozone
know.
layer. Oh my gosh.
had to stop using hairspray.
We fixed it.
We fixed it.
We did fix it though.
Yeah, that's great.
So what's everybody bitching about? Or excuse me.
Andy.
You can bitch. I mean, you can say the word bitch. All right, so we're going to turn your frown upside down, and then life will turn it back upside down again. So it'll make a full 360.
I'll be fine. Every now and then, you get that sort of, oh shit, why are we acting like everything's normal? We've got a bunch of climate scientists who are in literal tears right now because
they're cucks?
X, Y, and Z. Yeah, because they're a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah, I don't want them crying, though.
Yeah, well, we're fucked. But, everything's fine here in Burbank, so...
It's like on an airplane when you watch the flight attendants, but right now all of the people in charge for our Earth's well-being are like
fetal position,
freaking out, popping pills, shaking.
I've been thinking this morning about Cassandra and how basically the Democrats and the Democratic Party is Cassandra, and no one, cursed to not be believed and just not taken seriously. And right now we're watching, the the Trojans bring the horse into the city, and there's not a whole lot we can do.
Who's Cassandra?
Yeah, great
So there was a
question.
band called the Shrieking Cassandras, and they played at my college
That's where it comes from.
on Halloween. And I believe it is a reference to a woman named Cassandra who was shrieking about stuff and no one
I
listened
tell
to
you?
her.
What it is?
Probably. I
Because
feel
I
like you
actually
probably know more. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes from mythology. She had the gift of prophecy, and Apollo, because she spurned Apollo's advances, cursed her to never be believed. And so she could see the future, but no one ever believed her. And so she saw that, like, if you brought Helen back from the war, it would lead to the destruction of Troy. If you bring the horse in, the Greeks will invade and destroy the city. And everyone thought that she was crazy and
Hysterical.
manic and hysterical and didn't believe her.
Everything
And-
starts from incels. It's like all bad things
Yes.
start from incels.
And, the problem now is just no one believes us
Why did Apollo do her dirty like that?
because she wouldn't.
She
She
wouldn't
spurned
fuck
his
him.
romantic advances.
She thought she was better than him.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what spurned
She was
me.
a
That's
whole
why I said incels. You know, that's
That
their
makes
whole deal.
so
And
much sense.
I don't listen. Most days I'm like, all right, we're gonna be fine. Whatever. You started this.
Maybe she had an unlikable personality. What else do we know about Cassandra?
An odor
What was
problem.
What did
What
she
was she
wear?
wearing?
Yeah. Two things have emerged for me. One, this thing of like not believing all women really goes back very, very far. And two, I don't know a lot about
You
Greek
don't
mythology. Like I really don't.
Well,
That's what I'm realizing.
Seems like you have a wealth of information.
I just found that out
You're
today.
married to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just learned that today.
I'm Cassandra in our relationship. She doesn't believe anything I say.
That's not true. Hi, Tony.
Oh, hi. I know you're worried about his vibe right now, but I know that you came here to lift it up because you came here to do one thing.
Boogie! Boogie!
Ooh.
Oh my God, can I hear that again? Boogie! Boogie! What is that even?
It's you yelling boogie.
It's funny.
I need to hear it one more time.
Oh, boy.
Boogie! Boogie! That is... I don't know how your kids are with blowing their noses or letting you help them with that. I was talking about how our son Owen, he doesn't want any nose action. However, he'll go like, Boogie! Mommy, Boogie! And then it's like a 4-alarm fire. Is it 4 or 5? How many alarms happen in a fire?
It's a lot of alarms.
It's a 4-alarm fire, and I need to get there with the tissue immediately. And if I don't get it on the first try, and then I want to go for a second swipe, we need a new tissue. It was actually a discussion of tissues and paper
I
towels.
can relate to that.
Yeah,
I
we
respect
definitely.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a son who doesn't like nose action as well.
Uh-huh.
And
You're looking at a couple that love nose action over here, though.
we
kink,
are
right?
really into nose play. Yeah,
So I was listening to your most recent episode. A lot of good stuff, lots to talk about. But
I love your professional feedback on the whole episode. If you could walk us through.
oh yeah,
I'm joking.
All right, I'm glad you mentioned it because I wrote a proposal and a prospectus.
Great.
Neither of which really apply in this situation, but they just sound like official words. I've made a PowerPoint. There's a deck,
Yes.
slides, and
Bible.
there's a Bible.
Great.
Yes. And anyway, let's just have a Google meeting about it.
I
We
would
can
love to
meet
have
up on Hangouts.
Amazing.
Okay. So you're taking an oil painting class.
I am.
Oh.
Couple things to say about this.
Okay.
Andy, you kind of mocked Elizabeth for buying the wrong kind of oil. She bought some kind
yeah.
of cosmetic oil.
Yeah. Clearly cosmetic oil.
But what's it for?
So the oil that you use, which I now know is either linseed or walnut oil in an oil painting class, is you can't just use any oil. And
Well,
what
they
I
should have
had
been
bought
more
was
clear.
grapeseed oil, which is actually very good for your hair, nails, and skin, it turns out. So now I have a huge tub of like grapeseed oil. So if my skin ever looks dry, That's on
No
me.
excuse.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that in the bathroom. Like, are we kidding ourselves? Is that going to just be there for 5 years? Should we just throw it away? Like, was it just like you felt bad that you...
Let's keep it until it
Have you
goes
used it?
rancid like everything else I buy. No, I'm just kidding.
How big is this jug?
It's
big.
like this big. It's
Okay.
legit. And also, by the way, very ambitious of me to buy for my oil painting class that I'm
Well,
like,
you don't know. They might say mix a drop of red in a vat of oil.
I might. But the linseed oil, so those oils are specifically like attuned to the paints and it will dry eventually, whereas the oil I bought would never dry.
Oh.
So you just have an oil mess.
So, Andy, you made fun of her for not knowing. However, later, or almost right then, Elizabeth, you said that you also have to bring hairspray for your canvas. So I think if you're bringing in hairspray, it makes sense that you would bring a cosmetic oil too. Maybe everything is sourced from a cosmetic aisle.
No, because she had like a big list of everything you have to
And
bring.
they're very specific, these people. They're like,
Apparently not about
you
the oil.
have to get this specific type of paint. Do not get this other type of paint. Here are 2 types of brushes you need to get. And by the way, on my birthday, I got a gift certificate to Blick for $100.
Ooh.
Shout out to my sister. And I was like, oh, great. I'm golden.
Get all of it.
That gets you nothing.
It gets you nothing. I went and the total for what I wanted to get that was on my class list would have been $450.
No, it was over 5.
It was over 5.
Oil
Yeah.
painting is very expensive, though, relative to gouache or any of the others. It's
What's
like
gouache?
Gosh.
Were you choosing between oil and gouache?
If any of us had been drinking, would have been like multiple spit takes at the same time.
I thought you were going to say maybe relative to like
I didn't realize I was
acrylic.
dealing with plebes. Relative to finger paints.
Crayons.
Relative to crayons.
Got
Wait,
it.
what is? We're not moving
Kind of
on.
it's just a kind of acrylic.
Oh, it is
that's
acrylic.
Thick. It's like a thick acrylic.
Tony, experience with gouache?
No.
Is it GUASH?
That was my question.
Gauche, I think.
Oh, like gauche.
Gouache. I might be spelling the wrong word, but it's pronounced gouache.
If we went into Blick,
G-U...
employee comes over, can I help you? I'm looking for gouache. They know what we're talking about?
They will know.
Okay.
Art supply.
I don't believe you for some reason, but okay.
Well, in the same way that you called a church in Idaho,
I tried calling this morning. I can't get a hold of them.
You
Their
need to
office
call-
hours are not real.
there are so. This is a
Liars, they're
scourge.
liars.
There are so
bunch of
many
sinners.
businesses. I feel like. Well, actually, I understand this because I have a not quite up to date website. But there are so many businesses that claim to answer phones and then don't.
So the oil painting class, their website, something went awry with it. And I ended up, the phone number listed was actually the kind of older owner's cell phone number.
Oh,
So
gosh.
that was confusing. But we got to the bottom of it.
Okay.
But it was due to a not updated website.
Right.
So.
So you need. So what I was going to say though is that you need Andy with the same tenacity that you're trying to reach the good word. You need to call Blick and see what kind of reaction you get when you ask for gouache.
Yeah. I'll just go in there. I like going into Blick
Okay.
a lot.
What area do you guys live in?
We're on the east side.
Yeah.
Is there a Blick out there? There's no Blick anywhere near us out here in Burbank.
Really?
There's a
Yeah,
nice Blick in
I'm shocked by this.
Pasadena.
Yeah,
Pasadena.
that's far. There's
is.
one.
Pasadena.
There's one near where we used to live in kind of like Hollywood area.
Is there
And
one in
now-
Studio City, maybe?
No, there's a great art supply store. Carter something. I forget what it's called. I want to say Carter Thaxton. I'm looking at you. It's not that.
That'd
But
be
it's Carter
preposterous.
Sexton.
Nuts.
It's something like that. Over on like Colfax or one of those. or
I hope
Coldwater.
they're raking it in the way Blick is.
Yeah,
because Blick
catching
is-
a Blick runoff.
Oh my god.
But yeah, otherwise it's like fucking Michael's.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah,
don't get me
no.
started. Michael's is listen, I think that Michael's gives you really warm, fuzzy feelings. It's fun to be in it. But we talked about this. We think Michael might maybe not be a good person, but we're not sure.
Oh, I don't
he like
even
a
know
sociopath?
anything about Michael.
I don't know either, but
Yeah, I think we just made this up. That
we
he's
made
bad.
this up.
But
I think it's based on also like we feel like Michael knows Joanne.
Oh, sure.
And
Are they
But
the
one
same
of them's
company? They might be the
Joanne's
same
not
company.
good though. I believe
No.
Joanne did some shady stuff
there's
during
some
the pandemic.
anti-LGBTQ.
Is it?
stuff.
Are they?
Really?
Is it like a Hobby Lobby situation? Hobby Lobby's
Yes.
politics
Maybe.
are.
I might be
suspect.
really putting these
I
all
would say-
together
Right.
for no reason.
Although it's more pleasant to be in a Michael's to me than a Hobby Lobby. There's something depressing about a Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, Michael's is fun, but it's like you're there for kind of it's entertainment. Blick is like you're there to get to work.
Yes.
I'm a
I always
serious
feel
business.
when I'm in a Blick, because I have been dragged to a few Blicks via Daniel. Same when we went to that art supply store in Japan, not to Country Drop, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah. Well, what would make you guess? You know.
I don't know all the Japanese gouache laying around.
They make gouache in a way that is so superior and
They
so
actually-
refined you don't even know. Do they?
By the way, I don't know about that, but the Japanese do art supplies really well.
Are you an artist? Do you paint?
He could be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you work? What's your medium?
I like ink, pen and ink, but I've been doing.
But sculpture too. Like
I've
he
been
made that
doing-
fireplace
That's what I was
behind
just
you.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I've been doing. Oh God, can we start this podcast over? I'm sounding like such a. I've been doing acrylics.
Nice.
Gouache.
No, just regular ass acrylic.
And do you watch like YouTube tutorials, or do you just let the spirit take you?
Yeah, there's definitely some good ones out there. There's some crappy ones too. That's the problem with YouTube,
Yeah.
But there's some good stuff. I like watching process videos. There's something very like calming about watching people just do art.
I agree. I'd like to be one of those people at some point.
Do videos?
Ooh, like Bob Ross style.
Yeah. Well,
But you're
I mean,
in
my own
your way.
version of
Yeah,
that.
of course,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Your own spin.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love it though. It's the first thing I've done where I feel so I go to these classes, it's 3 hours, and I feel like I lose time completely. And I'm doing a very beginner, I mean truly like super basic thing called a compass rose, which I think most beginners do.
What is that?
It's a design on the canvas that you're doing, but it's like teaching you techniques like shading and
We got eyes on it yesterday for the first time, and it's really cool.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
their reaction. I was
Yeah,
like,
we were impressed, me and the fam.
But I didn't think for 3 hours for the first time, and I don't know how long, and so that was very
That's
fun.
great.
Yeah,
That's great.
I think that means you're in the zone or the flow.
Yeah.
yeah.
I've been wanting
flow
to take
state.
an oil class.
You should. You should find out
I
where.
really like this place. I'll
where
tell you.
Elizabeth
The
is
only
going.
thing that stopped me was the price of oil painting is high. And,
Also, a listener of ours, and maybe a listener of yours,
yeah.
gifted me this class.
Oh, no
That's
way.
so nice.
4 classes because they're not cheap,
They're
and
not
they
cheap.
shouldn't be because it's really great quality teachers and the facility. But then on top of it, you obviously buy supplies, and
The
it's
supplies,
crazy.
and then also like the smell of the supplies and I have nowhere to work except at
Good
my
or
desk.
bad for you?
I like it, but it would stink up the house because I don't have like a studio space to go paint in. I have to paint like basically at my desk, which is sort of in the house,
In the flow of
proper
the
in the flow of the house. So I can't have all of the different because my stepdad was an artist. He painted with oils, and so but he turned the garage into a studio, so he could just do these big canvases or whatever. And
That's cool.
excuse me, it didn't matter, but.
Didn't they pass through your room to get to the studio?
No, that was my mom. So my mom also had a studio that was off of my room, but she did watercolors. So
Spawn of artists.
Wow, that's cool.
So her studio was off your room.
I don't recommend it.
Being
Being the son of artists.
well, shoot, what's it gonna be
No,
for
you're
our
fine.
kids?
You're fine. Mine were like walking around naked. Like if my friends came over, it'd be like hippie parent alert. Are they,
yes.
are they naked in the backyard right now? Is there pot on the coffee table?
Where'd you grow up?
Tucson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's nice
So-
weather out there to be naked. Might get a sunburn. But
That's true.
yeah.
If you had grown up on the East Coast with these parents, they couldn't really pull off the naked in the outdoors.
I feel like they'd have
in the
given it a
backyard.
good go, though. Anyway, yeah, I'll have to catch some info from you later.
for sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, a lot of people had a caboodle case for their supplies, but you brought your stuff in a Blick bag.
Which Andy was shamed me so much about that I switched it all over to a Huntington Gardens bag.
Oh, okay.
Because I
Ooh,
thought
that's
maybe
cool.
that would be
Yeah.
like, respectable.
Mm-hmm.
But
Did you feel more confident going in with that bag?
I did, and also just it being my second class and kind of knew what I sauntered up to the easel and just threw my thing up there and I was like, I'm ready to go. And this week was all about mixing colors.
Love to mix.
And I got to use my little palette
Oh, boy.
thing.
Knife.
It was really fun. Palette knife. And so anyway, I feel like I'm on the path. And I've joked about this being my midlife crisis, but I think it's really my midlife renewal.
I love
you
it.
and
A
George
renaissance.
Bush, it's like you're
Yes.
finding it.
We constantly
Right in the
have
middle.
things in common.
Yet another one.
The other videos I like are when people make the paints.
Oh,
The
yeah.
videos of people making oil paints.
Yeah.
Or like getting
Love
to the mixing colors one where they show the color that they're gonna make,
Yeah.
and then
And
you're
he
like,
gets it exactly.
That dude, you talking
There's
about
that one
dude?
guy. Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable.
unreal.
Unreal.
There's a guy. Do you know what we're talking
Not
about?
at all.
I want to say he's like in Thailand or something. Like
Yes,
it's like, and
I
he
think
has
that's
this
right.
like outdoor booth, and you give him anything that has a color,
Anything.
and he'll just look at it, and then he'll sit
Like
there.
people who play music by ear, but he does that with colors.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll look
Yeah.
at it, and then
Wow.
he'll just like do this mix of different
Just-
colors.
And he's
You know?
throwing in things you'd be like, how is that in the mixture? Like that's gonna mess it up. But no.
And then he'll do it, and he'll shake it, and it's perfect.
It's
like,
crazy.
Perfect. It's
Now, are we
unbelievable.
sure he's doing it for real and it's
Well-
not sleight of hand?
What a
never- I
talent.
guess you never
I
know.
like to believe that there are people out there who have these
Gifts.
incredible gifts, and that's his, and he figured it out.
Well,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, I think you should get a caboodle because I've been thinking about it, and I think
Is that a dog?
yes, it's half poodle, half cab, like the car. No, it's so back in the 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s, there were caboodles carrying cases, which were what teen girls kept their makeup in. But it also looks like one of those like cool tool
like a
box
tackle
tool.
box?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So you should get one because even if you don't continue with oil painting, which I think you will, there's other things you can use it for, and they're so cool.
For sure.
Yeah.
I should get one.
Maybe not at Blick though.
Will you get a real caboodle or do you want the cool art one?
I want the cool art
Okay,
one. I want to be taken seriously out there
Yeah.
in the streets of Los Angeles.
Is
at
that
night.
Georgia O'Keeffe? Did she work in oil?
No, I believe she was watercolor. I
Gouache.
think?
Is that Mary Cassatt?
Mary Cassatt.
Crayon.
She might have been oil. A lot of those classic artists were oil.
Mentioned all the artists I know.
It's such a
know the
cool.
women,
It's
though.
so cool. Do you know that in oils, like the classical way of doing it is that you make the painting all in like grayscale, and then you glaze it in color.
What is glaze? Like paint?
What?
Is glaze just a term for adding
Painting
color?
over it
Oh,
with
wow.
translucent colors.
I did not know this.
Oil. This is why I mean you have to learn oil. It's a whole different.
Yeah,
thing.
thank God. I mean, I would have been. There's no way I could have stepped into this world just based on like instinct and be a nightmare.
I wonder how many. I think about this lately. I think about things in my life that I've tried to do with zero training, but just a vibe and a sense of it, an instinct, versus the things where I actually took lessons and I learned. Like I played tennis when I was younger and like very young. And had taken lessons or just various things where they teach you to do things that actually in the moment it feels unnatural, but you have to incorporate that. And how important all that is. I guess my question is, how much does just instinct and like being able to observe things, how far does that carry you?
Depends on the talent.
I think so.
I think it does. And also, I think something that taking the lessons gives you is, well, I think they're like innumerable innumerable things is
Can you count them? Or there's so many you can't count them?
So many you can't
Okay.
count. But a confidence that you know what you're doing. For example, right now I'm learning French. And I think there's a lot of stuff I know because I took French in school. But revisiting and hearing how certain words are said, I think I would have said them the same way, but I would have been like, trompe. And now I'm like, oh no, it's trompe. You know, I know what I'm doing.
Is that a
And it's
trumpet? Is it a cognate?
actually, I was thinking of, actually, you'll appreciate this. Wait, now I'm going to fuck this up. But trompe is, I think of this because I think of Trump is to deceive.
Oh.
Ooh.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Because, okay, so this back in the like 4-week stretch where I got my eyebrows waxed before I decided it's way too painful and too expensive. This was 100,000 years ago. The place I went was trompe l'oeil. That's
Yes.
the worst pronunciation, but trick of the eye
Trick
or
of
like
the
optical
eye.
illusion. Right. There you go.
Trompe.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I do think it gives you a certain confidence in like, I took piano lessons growing up. That's something else I want to do later in life. Do you guys feel like having kids our kids' ages and they're taking lessons and classes and stuff makes me want to like get back into
bit.
this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
What would you take, Andy? I don't feel like we've talked about your class.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like some new programs I'm trying to learn, and I'm like doing like a online curriculum sort of thing.
For what?
There's a program called Touch Designer that I've been learning, but I don't know. It seems easier to learn stuff when you're older, I think.
What if it was like how to pick up chicks when you're already married?
Yeah, it's adjacent to that. No, it's like a visual arts. You can like make like crazy installations and stuff with music and projectors and stuff like that.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
I think with art instruction, there's the technique that you can learn that's valuable, but you know, you could go, well, you could learn that online, but there's also the having someone tell you when you're doing something wrong. If you can totally learn all this stuff on your own. You just have to be the kind of person that is able to be very, very self-critical. And that's really hard. And especially, you know, when you think your shit don't stink, a lot of people think they're great artists, and it's easy to think you're great relative to how you were.
Yeah.
Because I'm way better than how I was.
Yeah.
But to have someone come in and say, okay, you're better, but you still have a long way to go.
Yes. And I also love the human experience of having someone who's an authority figure, who's kind of the withholding praise type. And when you finally get praise from them, that feeling, and they have to be really withholding, like they're not going to give it to you willy-nilly, and you have to earn that shit. And when you do, even in just little amounts, that feeling of satisfaction and joy is something I wouldn't want to miss out on.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the kind of teacher that you like?
Yeah.
So, really? Like a horrible ballet teacher? That's what
Yeah,
I'm envisioning.
you feel
She's
bad
sitting there with
about
like a
yourself
yardstick and
for
like
years
tapping
and
ladies'
years.
butts and stuff. Yeah,
Yes.
right.
And then one day she goes,
that wasn't awful.
Yeah.
yeah, not bad.
Barely
Like,
passable.
yes, exactly. That pirouette was not bad. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
We're
Wow.
our parenting style is the opposite.
Yeah.
Like literally everything is amazing. They're going to be ruined. Just completely fucked.
Now, to be clear, I'm not that way with, my kids.
Yeah. No, you that just speaks to your
Yeah, that's what I want.
subconscious. That's what you need.
Yeah.
Well, they make you. I agree with you. They make you better than you thought you could be because you'll push yourself harder to earn that
Yes.
praise.
Tony,
Yes.
professional drummer the world over. Tony plays in Motion City soundtrack.
Oh, sweet.
Cool.
Did you take lessons?
Eventually, not until I was in high school, and that was kind of more to like try to learn how to read music and stuff. But I mean, obviously, I learned a lot more than that. But yeah, I was self-taught for most of my life until I think I started lessons when I was 16.
But did you like sit down at a drum kit and just and you knew how to do it, or did you consciously watch other drummers to figure out, oh, here's how I make this kind of beat, and here's how I hit this drum?
I was just around it because my dad plays.
Right.
So I was just kind of around it, and he never really like showed me stuff. I just kind of picked up on it over time. And like, I don't remember it like starting to make sense. I just remember having a little drum set and I would bang on it. And then just over time that turned into, oh, this is a beat now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot of the creative things, if you think of music and art, so many of the artists that break through didn't have formal training and they broke the rules and didn't even know they were breaking the rules. They just like figured out how to make the guitar sound like this if you're Jimi Hendrix, or, you know, paint like this if you're someone else. So
Elizabeth Laime.
exactly.
Thank you, Allison.
Like maybe, you know, forget about all that grayscale bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
You do you how you want to do those oils.
Yeah.
Andy, you're a musician and producer.
Yeah.
Engineer. Did you take lessons?
No.
Not for any of it.
I took like piano lessons when I was real young, and I guess then guitar lessons, but I was very young. And then I never connected to music when I was doing it that way. But my brother always had like gear around, so I just like started fiddling with stuff. Yeah, just taught myself.
I've obviously never met your brother, but after listening to your most recent episode, he sounds like a saint in a way.
Sweetheart. Yeah.
He's a real
He's always coming from the right place.
Yeah. For
Does
sure.
he have any flaws?
Yeah. I mean, he's human.
Maybe that he's always coming from the right place.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he
think
makes others feel bad about themselves.
If I had to pinpoint, which I wouldn't ever, because he is like something I would strive to be like.
That's what I'm saying.
And
It
I would
sounds
go
like
to
he's-
him. I would ask if I had like a moral
Conundrum?
yes.
Quandary.
Obviously, I go to Andy and I take what he says and I go like, okay, that's Andy's. But if I went to Matt, I would like weigh that very heavily because he has such a.
Is
but
he
I think
older
he's-
or younger?
Older, 9 years older.
Okay.
You know, he comes from a place of not wanting to cause any harm or ever. So I think that could end up being passive.
We don't
Oh,
have the
I
typical
see.
older brother, little brother relationship, though, which maybe is because of the big gap. But I'm more of the like bully between us.
But
You
you're
know.
not a bully.
Oh, I'm a bully
Well,
to him
in your
in our own way. No, but yeah.
yeah, they play a video game together every week with two of Andy's friends and now Matt's friends. And Andy's kind of mean to everyone.
What
No,
is
but-
the game?
It's called Rocket League. It's like soccer, but instead of humans, you're trucks or cars. It's amazing.
Of course.
Yeah. But even outside of the video game, I would say I'm the bully in our relationship.
But why do you don't have to be a bully.
I'm just saying,
That's
I'm
what
just
you
being
are?
honest,
Okay,
you know? Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
being
that's-
Now,
honest.
now, is he so good in order to make us feel bad? Is that why he's like that?
No,
No.
that's the
No,
other
that's
thing.
the thing.
No, there's no
Wild.
righteousness to it at all.
Yeah.
I don't think, wouldn't you say?
He's just a sweet,
Yeah.
docile.
What does he do?
He works for like a big grocery company doing like logistics, like yeah, he's got a cool job.
He lives in. I hope it's okay.
I don't know.
with the word. He lives in Idaho.
What's
and
his phone number?
yeah.
But he's also like trained in Reiki.
Oh, he's a Reiki master.
Yes, he does Reiki.
But like before Reiki was cool, like he's been doing this for like
Idaho?
30 years.
There's
Is
a
there
lot
big
of questions
market for
around
that in
Idaho.
no, and also he's not like some like I'm a Reiki master. You know, he's just like a normal guy who
And
was
you'll just be talking
interested
to
in
him
that,
and
and
just be like, and you'll just be like, how did you do
he
that?
did once. We were at Andy's parents' house. This was probably like 15 years ago, and our dog was losing her fucking mind. Oh yeah, and he picked her up, Ruby, may she rest in peace, and put her on his lap and like hovered his hands over her. And I swear to God, in 15 seconds, she was asleep.
Oh,
It was wild. So
We
he has
need.
some
Maybe that's what we need for our dogs and our children.
yeah.
Reiki.
I don't know that we have that energy.
No,
There's
I don't think
also-
so.
Benadryl. I'm just kidding. I'm not encouraging
No, but
that,
actually.
but
I find that Benadryl has not really worked for our dogs or our children.
We have
Yeah.
we have pumped so much Benadryl into Wendy, and she just plows right through.
Yeah.
She's like what's her Marianne or whatever her name is from Raiders of the Lost Ark, just drinking everyone under the table. She just doesn't. Yeah.
So, contact lens update. Tony, I know we don't have a specific drop, but. Tony, play some kind of drop. Oh, I love it so much. That's a brand new one. Can I hear that again, please? Tony, play some had a drop. I mentioned when I first heard it, like, oh my God, we should make that a ringtone. And then Tony pointed out, right, because ringtones are still a thing.
I was on that ride with you. I was like,
Yeah.
you should.
Are they not? Is there not a
I mean, you can do
ringtone
them.
store?
Can you do it? Like, can you do it on an iPhone?
I guess I haven't.
You
checked
must
in
be able
10
to.
years.
Or you could make it your alarm or
The
something.
thing is, if we don't know, I don't think it's worth the time and energy.
We just were of the age when it was such a big deal.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I think the like stuff at the my episode summary and then all the links at the bottom still say like get the hey go fuck yourself ringtone. I wonder where that's sending them and if anyone is buying it.
It's like a
404.
Japanese porn site.
It's like someone started a crypto.
Totally. So anyway, I am now wearing one contact lens for reading, monovision.
What?
So what they do this thing where they give you one lens for close up for reading, and then I don't need distance correction, but if I did, in the other eye would be distance.
Does
And
your brain kind of
Yes.
sort it for
It's
you?
supposed to. Yes.
Is it yet?
So this is day 3 in 4 days because I didn't put it in yesterday. And do you guys wear contacts?
No.
Okay. Putting it in and taking it out. I know like Tony wears contacts and Daniel used to. I know that it will become old hat, but
Yeah.
it is so still brand new hat for
Sure.
me. It
Yeah.
is like
Yeah.
I begin to sweat and it's like I'm never going to get it in. And it's like I'm never going to get it out. And it's a whole I can't wait for it not to be an ordeal. But first couple days were really good and it was really like a miracle to not need to be putting my glasses on and off constantly and to be able to read and stuff. Today, for some reason, everything feels a little blurrier. And it actually made me wonder, like, do I have the contact in inside out, which is a thing I think that can happen, or is there something on it? But I don't think there is. And
If it's inside out, you'll start to know.
Yeah, you can kind of
immediately.
feel it if it's inside out.
okay.
Yeah.
What are other reasons that it could be blurry?
Not
Like,
enough
could there-
saline in your
Yeah.
eye. Maybe not enough like
It's more the
moisture.
solution.
I put a big
some
glob
drops.
in it, like you said.
But I would put some after you put it in.
Oh, okay.
I'll put some drops in your eye.
All right.
That's something.
I think it's more like my brain just says we don't want to work that hard today.
Uh-huh.
I've
That's how
never
it
heard of
feels.
the one eye
I've never
thing.
heard of this.
Daniel's mom does this, and then my mom did for a period of time. I think that's where I heard about it. So
Who's
yeah,
your eye
If you
doc?
close one eye and the other eye, does things get really wild?
yeah. So if I close my right eye, which is the one with the contact, everything's normal, and if I close my left eye, it still feels normal. That's not supposed to be happening.
Or maybe it is now.
Yeah.
No, because the left eye is the one with the lens in it, so it should be a little bit blurry. It is a little bit blurry. But you know what it is? They gave me a +1 for people who know reading glass, like the prescriptions. This is a +1 lens, and I think I need something stronger actually, because I can read now, but very fine print I can't read. And I don't know if I'm shooting for the moon here, and that's not possible. I don't know. But so anyway, so that's the update. The update is my brain is not online like it needs to be. And also it feels like relying on my brain to do this thing, I don't trust it.
Oh.
And then I was thinking, why? Like, really, you should trust your brain.
Yeah,
I think
what's
it's
that
because
One should. You shouldn't.
one should trust their brain. I think it's because I'm trusting it to do something just automatically and involuntarily. Like I have no control over it. It's just trusting that I'll pot this thing in and my brain will just sort it out, which feels like more
when is
precarious.
when has your brain ever sorted anything out?
You
Yeah.
know what though? You need to like our brains are doing that all the time. I'm about to get like real wild, but there's this book called Whole Brain Living, and it was written by, I always forget her name, Jill Bolte Taylor, who is this neuroscientist who had a stroke at a very young age. And she was a neurosurgeon and scientist when she had the stroke. And so she could like talk about it in a very unique way. And the stroke was in the side of her brain that does like our day-to-day functioning and our critical thinking, and it's less to do with feelings and it's more about like how we get through life.
Is that executive functioning? Have you heard that term?
Yeah, yeah.
I hear that term all the time, and I
think
never
so.
quite know what that is.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that is what it is. But for example, she went to call someone when the stroke happened and like couldn't make sense of the numbers. So there was an 8, but she was
Every
looking
time
at-
there's a phone in a dream, I have that experience.
Oh, interesting.
Constantly,
So
yeah.
It's like which side of your brain is
Right.
working, but she like matched up the symbols that meant nothing to her to like, but also the other thing she felt was that her cells, all of everything that we have and all of our cells are vibrating at a certain thing, or what's the word I'm looking for? Frequency. Yeah. Thank you. When that part of her brain went offline, she felt like there was no place where she ended and other began.
That's so interesting.
So our brains are constantly like, I'm looking at you, Allison, and my brain is putting together where your hair is and where you're, so you have to trust your brain's already doing that
Yes.
work. It's just taking on a little bit more.
Right.
What was the name of the book?
Whole brain
so-
living.
Yes. And she has a stroke of, I forget what her first book, which is all about the stroke, which I would recommend reading first, is Stroke of Insight is her first book. And then Whole Brain Living is her second book. And the second book is more about how to harness the skill set of the different quadrants of your brain to work together to like help you get through life easier, I guess.
Well, if you think about it, you're not conscious of breathing. Your body just does that, even when you're asleep.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, you can make yourself breathe. Whereas, like, if I think about it, I can't control my eyes.
Yes. Right.
You can't control your eyes?
Well, no, I can.
Wait a minute.
They just do what they want. They're going all over the place.
Are they looking at you? Are they looking at you right now? No, I guess what I mean is I can't say like, okay, brain, we're going to look out of the, or I guess, okay, eyes is who I'd be addressing it to. Okay, eyes, we're going to use the right eye now. Oh, we're going to use the left eye. Like, I can't control which eye I'm looking out of unless I cover one.
Right.
It is weird how your brain just knows, though. Or mine does. Like, very quickly it adjusted, just not as much as I want it to.
How long did they say till you really are in it?
I had this question too. And all they say is, it can take a while. But for some people, no. And then I expected her to say, it can take a while, and then drill down a little more. Like, for some people, it's a few hours. For some people, it's a week or something. But they didn't give me anything more. They just said it totally varies by person. Some people never adjust.
That's a frustrating answer.
Yes.
Give me
That's when I
some
get
sort of
on
window.
Reddit.
Oh,
boy.
totally. I should do that.
Reddit is never
I'm
wrong.
surprised I haven't gone to Reddit yet for this.
There's probably a
You
whole
know, there's like
community
R
on there for you.
monovision or
Ask-
something.
Yeah.
Ask AI.
I don't know that in the same way I don't trust my brain, I don't know that I
AI's
trust
never-
AI.
AI's never
That's-
I've been relying on it a lot. I don't ever go straight to like Chat GPT, but just now when I Google anything on my phone, this is how it is for all of us, right? It gives you the AI answer at the top.
Oh, the summary thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to be
So-
on the record as believing all AI all the time and our AI overlords.
They will noted. They will spare you
That'll serve you well.
first. Yeah.
I want it
trust.
to be, yes. when they're going through this podcast and they catch this, I'm on your side.
Oh, right. Yeah. Me too.
Right?
I changed my mind. I do trust them.
Thank you.
I will find out what they have to say. Tony, you want to go on the record as trusting AI?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
I'm in.
Andy's
Good.
not going to do it, and he's going to be going down.
Good. Nice knowing you.
It's all right. It's all right.
He's so principled. It's annoying.
You know what? It only takes in music, the AI stuff's moving very fast, and have been like very anti. I see one TikTok video that's Timbaland, my favorite producer of all time, going on and on about how great it is, and this is the next dawn of music. And then I'm like, maybe AI's not that bad. It took one TikTok for me that I'm like, oh, now I'm AI curious. But
So,
in
AI
general,
curious.
I'm a little anti.
what kind of things are happening in music? I mean,
Oh, there's
Wait, hang on one second. If we're going to talk about something that he saw on TikTok,
oh,
Hey, yo.
This week on TikTok, also known as twat.
okay.
I think the big thing, the most famous site right now is called Suno. And you can get on Suno, anybody, and basically type in, I want a song that sounds like a 90s R&B song mixed with a country song. And you type in all the lyrics you want, and it literally spits out a song with a singer singing it. And it's pretty mind-blowing.
And so,
and it's getting
like,
really good.
Someone like Timbaland, though, like, how is that serving him?
Yeah.
He can then use that song in in some production he's doing.
So, well, that's what I don't quite understand, and it seems like he's being a little cagey about exactly how he's
Like,
using
does he
it.
own stock in
Yeah,
one of these
that's-
companies?
Well, it does. I would
know.
guess so. But one example I saw a video that went sort of viral is he was showing like just a regular beat that he had made, a cool like Timbaland style beat, and then someone else on the internet had like rapped over it, this woman, and then he plugged that into, I think he is using Suno, the real famous one, and then it like barfed out a new, not like a totally different style with a different singer, but the lyrics that the woman had rapped, but it's like pretty good. And you're like, wow, if you could maybe write a song and then have a device, spit out 100 different versions of it for you to be like, what's the best way to make this song? That could be a useful tool for songwriters, sort of. But it's going to get used and abused. And Spotify, there's already this huge problem there's already a huge problem of people just making this AI music and
Are people listening
putting
to
it
it, though?
to Spotify.
Well, podcasts.
Bots are.
Well, okay.
Wait,
Podcasting
wait,
aside for
what?
a second, hold on. But are people
Oh,
listening to
I
the
hear it,
Spotify
yeah.
music? Like, is that something that anyone cares about? Are people like, I want to turn on the AI music channel and just listen to songs written by?
That's probably a very small niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
podcast thing.
Well, there are some podcasts. We're in the relationship podcast, so I'm always going to see where we are in the charts. And there are a few podcasts that are just AI.
Oh, I thought you were talking about podcasts using AI to make their songs.
No.
What are they?
I'll have to send them to you, but
Yeah.
they're pretty obvious. Like once you start listening to it, but they're obviously doing well because they're in the charts.
Oh my God.
There's
So
that
that's a
Google
little-
Notebook
Yes.
feature.
I've heard of
are you
this
familiar
happening.
with Google Notebook? It's pretty incredible. You can upload files. I had a book that's like this book from the 19th century, and I didn't want to have to read through it, but I wanted to do research from it. And I had a PDF, so I uploaded the PDF, and then you can get all these study guides, which is cool. But it'll also create a podcast. And so I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. And it's like a 30-minute podcast, and it's in that like NPR style, two people, and it's fucking crazy because
Wow.
it just sounds like two people. They make jokes. They're talking about the material. Like, you wouldn't believe this. And they're not just like,
Have you ever wondered? Like
well,
that?
they're not saying this happened, then this happened, then this happened. They're actually analyzing it and making commentary on it as though they have opinions about it.
Is this a bad time to tell everyone that we all were the original AI in this podcast? This here podcast
Yes.
is the OG
That's right.
AI podcast. Are
We're
we
not
there?
real. We're not real.
This whole thing has been a project. Daniel Quantz is actually a team of tech people in Silicon Valley.
Very good at their jobs. Very, very, very good.
So wait, the podcast that you're talking about, although I sense you don't want to talk about it too much, so we don't have to go into
Well,
it.
I just don't have that much information on it, but
Do you get the sense that someone is like uploading an article about a specific topic, or like are they just saying like come up with a podcast about boundaries?
I don't know. But I now want to look more into it. By the way, I do use ChatGPT in a way that I think is very useful, which is learning French.
Oh.
So I'll say like, can you talk to me in French about, I love food. So, like bakeries.
And you talk like conversationally?
Yes.
That's so good.
That's
It's
cool.
really fun. So that's one good thing. I just want to throw that in there since
We just
the overlords are.
since we just put ourselves on
I
the
see.
Genuinely
to be
nervous.
destroyed list.
Yeah.
That is a good use of it.
Yeah.
So I volunteered. There was a Harry Potter night at my kids' school, and I volunteered. Do you do any volunteering at your kids' school?
Hey, not to brag, but she just got
Volunteer of the Year award.
Something, no, of
PTA
the month.
member of the month. I had
Yeah.
a feature in the PTA newsletter.
Congratulations.
My picture was splashed up there.
That is
Hell yeah.
awesome.
Thank you, Tony.
This was an entirely PTA put on event. I'm not a member of the PTA.
What?
I'm not a member of the PTA. Someone told me, or I saw someone say, like, whatever you do, don't join the PTA. And for some reason, I got it in my head that, like, yeah, it's like signing up for a list you could never get off of or something.
Well,
That might be
that's
true.
true,
Yeah.
probably. But I think like there's studies that, I mean, I know that you're clearly involved in your kid's school and stuff. So it's kind of like you're already doing it.
Right.
You might as well like get the credit.
Okay.
And
Maybe I will.
do think, there are so many studies that show like how kids collectively do at a school. I don't know. Our kids are at a public school. Like
Ours are too.
is directly linked to how involved the parents are, and the PTA is such a like core. To not have the PTA, I'll put it this way, not having the PTA is a huge detriment to
Right.
the school, and it provides so much value to all of the kids. So to not be a member of it is kind of like you're opting
Horrible.
For the record,
I do feel bad.
I am a member.
I do feel pretty bad about my child. I didn't.
Daniel's a member.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe
joined
I
the-
am too. Did you
No,
sign
you're
me
not.
up?
I thought the same
We
thing.
have the
We're
same-
in the same boat. Don't you worry.
Why are
I don't
you
think I'm
we're-
official member at the
These
moment.
Rosens, I
Yeah.
mean, are you
It is a
kidding
Rosen
me?
thing.
I think
it
so, yeah.
is.
He goes, I think I'm a member because you're a member.
Yeah,
I'm like,
she's like, that's not how it works. I'm like, uh-oh.
That should be how it works.
Yeah, obviously.
Anyway, okay, fine. Notes taken.
But
I
you
will.
won't-
I don't like their sensibility.
oh, really? Well, then you can
No.
have your voice heard. And- by the way, I mean,
I don't mean what they do. I just mean like their hokey jokes and stuff.
Oh.
Maybe I don't like their
Maybe you
sense of
can
humor.
up the
You have a
level of the humor.
jokey PTA.
Oh
Ours
my
isn't that jokey.
ours is real not jokey. In fact,
Yeah, I got that.
I'm a little. Ours takes it very seriously.
Yeah.
I put a little joke because they wanted me to do my own write up for the.
You had to do your own write up?
Well, but then
Or
they
a blurb,
changed it.
send a blurb or something.
and then
Sure.
they changed it, and I tried to infuse a little humor. In
Did they
there,
take
you
it
know.
out?
No, they kept it in it. It was so stupid. This is probably exactly what you're talking about. But it said my name, and it said is a writer for work, a baker for fun, and like a jigsaw puzzle.
Ah, jeez.
You didn't even read it?
I'm not getting the emails because I'm not a member.
Yeah.
Said a puzzle something for like stress relief or whatever.
Oh.
No, I don't mind that.
Wow.
I don't mind that.
Oh, you guys
I
are
think
sweet.
that's good.
Tony's judgment.
Look, I got no kids. I'm staying out of this.
So I like volunteering though, because not only do I like to be able to see what's going on in the class and stuff like that, I feel like volunteering has, and I also like to feel like I'm a part of stuff of the school and all that, but also like I've gotten a lot of useful gossip about like gossip is too strong, like the inside track of like, oh, which teachers you want and
yes.
what's that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's been invaluable for that.
There's a lot of that going on in the PTA that you're missing out on.
That's what
That's
I
what she's
hear.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I still get it volunteering, but I guess I would really get
Yeah.
it. Can I join your PTA?
I would love that. That would be amazing.
Can we do an exchange? I mean, an exchange, but send someone else so I can hang out with you.
By the way, I also now you have to have boundaries when you're in the PTA because
This is what I'm talking about. The person who's like, don't join the PTA, because I'm not great with boundaries.
okay, you just have to really dig deep. And I also don't like I'm not directing this at Daniel. I mean, this is still a patriarchal thing where I feel like all the moms are expected to do all the stuff.
Right.
And where are the dads?
Yeah.
Our PTA, there's a lot of fatherly input and involvement, but it's not balanced. But I was seriously peer pressured to join the board. Like,
See,
to
this is what
run
I'm afraid
for
of.
PTA.
I'm afraid I'm going to end up being president of something if I'm not careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful because in a moment of weakness I almost caved. And it's just like, I'm not taking that on. I'm always the person who does that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just not. And so
Like I didn't put myself up or offer or whatever to be room mom. I haven't ever done that because I feel like I don't
It's
think
a lot of responsibility.
it's a lot of making sure everyone got the email and That's pretty much
There are
it. But
people-
still,
I feel
that's a lot.
There are people
Why is
who
that
have that.
room mom?
Yeah.
You know,
Room parent. Should be room parent. Yeah, I feel like I'll be in charge of a phone tree or something, and I just don't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I volunteered for Harry Potter night. There's like different rooms you could volunteer for. So I was in the spellcaster room, and it's like set up, and so they have a wand, and they,
The children.
yes, they do a spell in a certain way and they say incendio. And then the fire in the fireplace goes on via a little remote control button that I was the secret button pusher. And then there were a couple other parents who like one who stamped their little map and the other one who explained how the spell goes. I did not know where to put myself. I didn't know if I should be hiding behind a drape or something or to just stand in the corner, which is what I did. But I kept saying to the other parents, should I not be here? Like, is it obvious, And they're like, no, it's totally fine. So I just stood in the corner when at the very beginning, one of the other parents' daughters, who was the school goes up to 5th grade. I think she was in 5th grade. I had my hand in my pocket and she goes, it's sus that your hand's in your pocket. So I took my hand out of my pocket and just put it behind my back, which I also feel like was obvious. But our kids came through. And the next day I asked Elliot, do you know how that trick worked? No, I don't think I said trick, that spell. And he said, I think it was on a sensor and like it heard you say the word or something. So fooled my own kids. But here's what I want to say and what I noticed. Every time the fireplace would turn on, every adult in the room would go, oh my God, like, oh, you did it, And the younger kids, including Owen, I'm going to sneeze. When Owen did it, he did like a little touchdown football dance. There was no football. And I've actually never seen one of these dances. So a victory dance is what I mean to say. He's like, I did it. And he danced around. He was so excited. The younger kids got so excited. The 4th and the 5th graders, a flash of excitement would go on their face and they would tamp it down so fast. And they'd just be like, cool.
Yeah.
A whole new world. I'm just saying,
That's
5th grade, I feel like it's like, do you guys remember 5th grade? I feel like that stuff starts and our
It made me
child
sort of
is in 5th
sad.
grade and it is kind of like, I now know when we're like getting close to school, like the hand is no longer holding the hand. Things like that.
You gotta be cool.
You gotta be cool.
Yeah.
You gotta be cool.
It's so sad. It's not like their life would be so much different if they allowed themselves to express the excitement. I have a vested interest because I created the fire in the fireplace. So I want, maybe I'm just upset that they weren't giving me, they were the withholding teacher, Elizabeth. They weren't giving it up for me.
But you saw a glimmer.
I think I did. I'm wondering if I'm imagining that. I'm pretty sure I did.
I see.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure that they were like, oh, cool. Oh,
We just
whoa.
had,
spoiler
spoiler to anyone who's listening with young kids. I feel like they shouldn't hear this part, but we just had something interesting happen. I didn't even talk to you about this, Andy, but our 5th grader, just had teeth pulled and they sent her home with a little tooth case and the teeth in it. And our kids have very much believed in the magic of all of the magical things. And
hang on one second. For real, children, exit the room.
yes. So, but it was almost like she gently let me know that it's no longer a thing.
What?
She let you down gently.
Yeah, she goes, because she had these 2 teeth in this little teeth carrying case, and Andy was out of town.
Is it a tooth-shaped case? Because
Yes,
we got one of those
so
too.
cute.
Yeah.
But she goes, and she had just lost a tooth truly like 2.5 weeks ago. So there's a lot of teeth falling out of this kid's face. And the tooth fairy had come and whatever, but there's no hullabaloo whatsoever. In fact, she forgot about it. And the next day was like, oh yeah, I think actually her brother said, did
you get anything?
What happened? But this time she goes, you know what? I don't think I want to put these out for the tooth fairy. And I was like, oh really? And she goes, no. To me, kind of I know what's up, but almost not wanting me to feel let down. That
She has to keep it going for you. Yeah.
And so that was that.
Wow, new
Surprised
era.
she wasn't like, but I'll take the money.
She doesn't care. Our son totally different story. She wants for nothing, doesn't want
Really?
You know
money,
how dog-
not motivated by money, like
She's
doesn't
not fate
care.
motivated.
You know how dogs are like,
Yeah.
some dogs you can train them so easily because of treats and stuff. And I'm not trying to compare her because she's, obviously not a dog or canine, but she doesn't care about sugar. Like, our son is so like me, sweet tooth, loves things like
Treat
a gift
motivated.
shop is everything to him. And he's so much fun, honestly, to give gifts to because he gets so excited.
he would have loved the fireplace.
He would have loved
Lost it, yeah.
And our daughter, and I really admire this about her. She truly just like,
Just like Buddhist.
she is like Buddhist, isn't she?
We went to Target recently, and she wanted to come with me to Target because she wanted to get a mouse for her Chromebook because some of her friends have a mouse.
One of those old fashioned things that you put.
And we get in front of the mice. There's all a bunch of cute colors. They're only like $10. I'm like, you can get one of these. And she's looking at them. She doesn't know what color. And I said, are you going to actually use this? Because let's just get it if you are going to use it, but not big pressure, just
Right.
simply like that. And you just see her think for a minute. She goes, yeah, no, I probably won't use it. And then we were done. But like, if I was a kid and the thing was in front of me, I
Right. All
made it
this
to
color,
Target.
yeah.
And my dad said, like, are you sure you're going to use it? I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to use it. Are you kidding?
Right.
Like, but yeah, she just thought about it, like, oh yeah, no, I probably won't use that. And then that was it. It was wild.
Is she very mature?
Yes.
Like old soul mature?
And she's
Wow.
very thoughtful. And yes, she's always been very mature, way more so than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. No, she just, she's a special human. But I'm glad that we have the other one who when he was 5, my sister gave him this like Pokemon thing that he had wanted, but it was like a $35 Pokemon pack. And I have video of him weeping and going, thank you. Thank you. And it's like so sweet. He's so into stuff.
That's so sweet. But we have 2 kids who are very into stuff.
Oh,
and
that's
like
fun.
Elliot already has like a 4-page letter to Santa for what he wants. And he put it in an envelope. And what did he write? I was good this year, or at least I tried.
Aw, I love that.
Yeah.
Owen, actually, we've told this story before. Owen he has more unusual interests, so it can be more difficult and easier with him.
He's got the
but
interests of like a 17th century peasant child.
Does he have any Christmas requests this year? Because I love last
so
year's.
previous requests were like a wheel of cheese,
and a cabbage,
cabbage.
Oh, I love that.
yeah.
You weren't kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
He wanted a morel because it's like one of the coolest mushrooms.
Right. And this year
Wow.
it's fish.
Yeah, he
And
wants
He wants a fish tank, and he said what he'll take a salmon.
or a tuna or a
What's
starfish.
his YouTube algorithm look like?
Yeah, I know. It's a lot of wild stuff. No, the story I was going to tell, though, is Elliot said, like, don't do that or else you might just get coal for Christmas. And then Owen said, what's coal? And Elliot's like, it's just like a hard black rock. And Owen's like, but that sounds good to me. Because he loves like rocks and
sweet kid.
gemstones and
It's like
stuff.
obsidian. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love
But
coal.
that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Remember, what's the other time we asked, you were like, Owen, that's mean. Do you want to be mean?
It's like,
And he thought about it. He's
kinda,
like,
he goes, kinda.
sometimes.
I love
Yeah.
it.
I know there was another night where you asked him something like, do you want to da-da-da? And I was like, don't make it a question because there's not an option here.
Yeah.
Let's do just me or everyone.
Sometimes I ponder on something I have thought or done. Is it just me or everyone?
All right. I do have some that people have sent in. Do you guys happen to have any just me or everyone's?
I do.
Oh, let's hear yours.
Okay. One is it just me or everyone who thinks that leftovers have a shelf life of 1 day unless they are a food that tastes better the next day, in which case they have a shelf life of 2 days.
I am not that way at all, to the detriment of cleaning our refrigerator out.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I will leave stuff in there.
And
For
eat
weeks.
it though?
Well, what was it that I found that I was like, I'm surprised this is still good? There was
happens all the
something.
time.
Yeah, there was
Could never. In our house, by the way, when we open a sour cream, we write with Sharpie or yogurt or anything the date that it's been opened.
That's
because
smart because it turns green and
we can't get to the
crunchy.
green phase or life is over. Like,
You've gotten to green sour cream?
yeah, green fuzzy.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, moldy green.
Yeah.
Sure.
what?
I've seen moldy green on like a yogurt or something.
There was
but
okay, so we had turkey
I can't
dogs. We had turkey dogs in the
Oh
refrigerator.
boy, where is this going?
Well,
I think you know.
they had been in there for like months, maybe. Do you guys want to come over for dinner? And I kept opening them and smelling them, and I'm like, they still smell fine.
So you're a smell tester in
Yeah,
general with
pretty
all
much.
of this stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
But then I was like, if we haven't eaten them since the summer, like it's time to say goodbye. And
The seasons have changed.
yeah, I picked it up and I looked and I'm like, I think there is something growing between these two dogs here. I think it was something,
And it wasn't love.
right? So I did throw it out. I think it was like some white mold fuzzy happening, but I'm not sure. It could have just been the way it looked through the Ziploc.
Seems like it
I
probably.
think
Probably
you'd be
was.
confident. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
more than open 14 days, you would say?
easily.
Yeah.
So we both grocery shop in our own ways. Like I do a huge Trader Joe's haul every week and a half. Andy does Vaughn's like as needed kind of thing, and then usually a big Target haul because, as you know, now we have to shop in 8 different places because everything's so expensive in some
Yes.
stores and whatever. But every time I come home from Trader Joe's, I go through literally everything in our fridge and freezer for that matter, and it's gone, baby gone, unless it's new, pretty much. And so we're kind of on the extreme end of that stuff.
You're like a
admittedly.
workplace fridge.
Yes.
Cleaning out the fridge on Friday.
But food wise, leftovers, I give it a day. So like the full next day, if we're getting it on Tuesday, is good. It needs to be tossed Thursday.
So you're never like doing weekly meal prep or anything.
We don't do weekly meal prep, but what we do is weekly meal plans.
Right.
And I tend to be like the thing that needs all the fresh produce, like closer to the shop. And then the stuff that I can, like last night, I made this great tikka masala lentil situation that is all like shelf stable stuff I threw together. But I last week made I keep talking about it, this broccoli cheese soup from Smitten Kitchen recipe, and I made buttermilk biscuits to go with it.
Sounds delicious.
It was great, but the next day it was so delicious.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
it was
Seeps
so
together.
much better the next
Were you
day.
expecting it to go a different way?
You know, broccoli. It's like
It's
Yeah, no, we kept at it, and then I was like, this lives on. Because,
so you're gonna let it live.
well, I let it live one more day. Then it had all been eaten, so I couldn't even see how far I would
Right,
take it.
wow.
but it was exciting to me.
That is very exciting. Are you on the same page with the throwing out of leftovers?
Probably more so, except I forget probably to do it, but we both get really grossed out really easily. I'm also real weird about germy stuff. And we also get in each other's heads. So if any of us says, like, do you think this is old?
definitely is.
It's over. It's completely over. The other person won't even smell it or anything.
It's
If
just like
we
it's gone.
pose the question, the food is gone, which I know is
Wasteful.
bad and wasteful, but
Well, it'll
that's
prevent you
the
from
reality
eating
we're in.
rotten food is the thing.
Yeah, but we're not getting that. What's the like gut stamina? You know.
No, but I took a infectious disease course in college, and this
Did a listener send it to you?
yeah, right. The fear of God was put into me. I loved this teacher. I forget what his name was, but professor. But the botulism and canned goods, and I mean, it's you don't want to mess around.
Have you guys
don't
noticed? I have a theory about canned goods. Have you noticed now? There's more dents. It seems like. Like, I don't think that grocery workers take the same pride in stacking the cans that they did back in the day, because that used to be a cliche in movies in like the 50s and 60s. You'd see the guy doing the cans.
And also, if you
now
get
they're
a
always
dented
bumped.
can,
you can get botulism.
It's out.
but I have had, we probably have dented cans. I feel like the ozone. Are we still supposed to worry about dented cans?
Why would we worry about a dented can?
For some reason they would.
Botulism.
Yeah, but why?
Okay, so dented, it's not worth the risk. Now, swollen, you cannot eat that can because
That means something is creating gas.
Yeah.
yes. Now there's like I don't remember that much from this. I was doing a lot of drugs back in college, but I think that there's the dent can be this like the way the gases are happening. It
it's
like
creating
almost
a
makes a
vacuum?
vacuum.
Oh, you mean dented in the sense that something sucked it in, like vacuum-wise, not just like it hit a...
But I think it's
You don't
hard
know.
to
The idea is
tell.
you
You
wouldn't
can't
know.
tell.
Yeah.
And then if the lid looks like it's like swollen out,
Yeah, I
you just
know.
do not mess with that.
What was it that I ate recently that had been in there for a long time?
Uh-oh.
It was some like leftovers, and I was like, "How is this still good?" But it still tastes good.
Do you get sick? You do.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
but I don't.
You don't get like food sick.
I don't get a lot of things where I wonder, is this food poisoning?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't. That doesn't happen to me.
So I also have a deep fear of throwing up. And I haven't thrown up since I was pregnant. So that was 8+ years ago. And I like will do anything I can in my power to avoid that.
Yeah,
So-
I get that.
That's-
Andy, what is yours?
About food?
No, sorry. What's your? Do you have it just me or everyone?
Oh, mine's a little different, but it's one and it isn't in the sense of Q-tips. Is it just me? I think it's everybody
We're sticking
is
them in our
using them
ears.
on their ears, but
Yeah.
but you're really not supposed to. But
know.
everybody does it.
I think they do.
It's just
Like
liability.
everybody.
Everyone does it.
That's its main use. It's the funniest thing ever because the main use is your ears, but you look at a package and it's like you can use it for all these things except not mentioned ears.
They
Yeah.
had to put so much money towards hiring people for a think tank to go, we have to fake like there are other uses for
Right.
this. So like
And
what
applying
can we
glue to a model, like that's why I need 500 of them. Because I'm just like making so many models.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just you.
Do you know what this is almost a trivia question. Do you know what the original name of Q-tips was?
Little swab stick.
Cotton swabs.
Do you know, Daniel?
We've talked about it, but I don't remember.
Tony, do you know?
I don't know.
Baby gays.
A baby gay.
Uh-huh.
Why?
Can you look it up? I think that the guy who created its daughter was named Gay or something.
Okay.
Weird, though, to be like, I'm going to call this cotton swab
Baby
Elliot.
Owen.
Yeah, I know.
That's so strange.
And is it baby gays like with apostrophe? Like these were
I don't think so.
hers?
I don't think so.
No apostrophe. Product was originally called Baby Gaze, and in 1926, the labels were changed to read Q-tips, Baby Gaze. Later, the name Baby Gaze was discarded, and Q-tips became identifying.
I
Does it
wonder
say why
they went
baby gays?
to Q-tips?
Still
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah, I know. That's weird, too.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Cutie Tips. It looks like it was.
Oh, that's sweet.
And what were they invented for?
I'm gonna need some
Putting
time
glue
on that.
models.
Something to do with baby, like
Right.
like
Cleaning their noses. Or
yeah, nose cleans,
I'm hoping it's something like that will be like
I think it was
horrified
ears.
that was
anal
the
swab
well, okay.
after taking the temperature. Remember, like that's what we had to deal with when we were babies.
I know. We never did that with our kids. We never took the temperature that way.
We had to do it. I did. You weren't there, but I forget which kid it was, but I took them when they were like a few months old to the emergency room, and that's what they do there. And I was like, "Are we not like? Has medicine not advanced enough that?"
Yeah.
you can throw,
Why can't we just do the like
do the forehead
yes.
thing or whatever? But
Yeah,
no, they
we
insisted.
took Elliot to the emergency room. Wait, was that when you took your kid to the emergency room and the diagnosis was like crying baby?
That might have been, yeah. It was.
You told me that
was
story on my
tough.
podcast. We took Elliot to the emergency room and they wanted to take his temperature rectally. But for some reason, I was like, can we wait until XYZ? And then if we need to, we will or something. Or like, let's, I forget how I put them off of that.
They're like, sure, or we can use this cool one. Like, and they show you the infrared gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just mirror everyone. Every time I'm microwaving leftovers in a to-go container that has a remotely metallic feeling, I'm afraid it's going to spark and start a fire. That's from Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same. I feel like
I don't want to
really,
put anything reflective in there unless they specifically tell me to.
There's all sorts of like things now where it's okay. Like you'll buy things that are sort of slightly metallic and it's okay to microwave them. And now I don't know what's what anymore with microwaves.
I transfer to a bowl.
I transfer. Although last night I was microwaving a bag of rice. This was for the tikka masala meal. I love, by the way, the leftover theme today. And I put it on a microwave safe plate and the plate broke in the microwave. Like it literally
lied
snapped
to you.
in half. So
You know it was microwave, like it said microwave safe.
well, we've
That's
had it. I mean,
interesting.
we've had it for 14 years and it's never cost us, never given us any lip before.
You know what's weird? So, and I dragged my listeners through the whole saga with our microwave. We had a very fancy microwave that had a convection oven as well, and it had bells and whistles and stuff. And it broke. And I don't know if you've been through the experience of a microwave breaking. No one will repair it. It's so expensive to repair it. They just say replace it. So I said, I'm never overspending for a microwave again.
Yeah.
So we just bought the cheapest microwave we could find, and it heats food, and that's what we want it for. But
Right.
here's the thing. The plate that I put the food in gets hot before the food gets hot, which is weird. And it didn't, and these are microwave safe plates, and they didn't do that in our more expensive microwave.
Oh,
And I don't really
are you
understand.
sure?
I think it did.
Are you sure? Because that's pretty standard. Because we have it's not like a convection situation, but we had the world's oldest microwave that did die. And we got this new one, and it's like a whole new world. I mean, it really heats that food up. But the plate is always hot. I mean, I need oven mitts usually to get this stuff
Okay,
out.
maybe I'm just, because I'll put something in for like a minute, which in our old microwave would have been enough. And then the plate will be hot and the food will still be cold in the new one. So maybe I just need it.
That
Maybe
is
it's just not as
interesting.
strong.
Interesting.
Not as strong or something. I don't know.
That seems like a fun Reddit rabbit hole to go down.
Yes,
For
right
After you
after I
do
look
your
at the
some
eye.
evening. Yeah.
Okay. This is from Bian. Jasmir, okay, I have to be honest. Bian, but it's Bian ... and it's a screen grab. So it might be like Bianna Maria. Okay. Jasmir, everyone, I pick clothes to wear out of the clean clothes basket so I don't have to fold them and put them away. I do this with my kids a lot. Like things will go straight from the dryer onto their body, and then I'll think, I think you wore this yesterday, but it's clean. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good hack.
how does laundry go in your house? Because laundry is the bane of my husband and my existence. We don't have a system. It sits in a pile on the couch a lot. It's not immediately put away by any means.
There was a funny meme. It was like, time to, wash the clothes, 30 minutes. Time to dry the clothes, 45 minutes. Time to fold the clothes, 5 to 7 business days.
Yeah.
Our thing is, first of all, we don't have much storage space. So, like, we don't have that many clothes. So, we can't really afford to have it not put away to have access to because we honestly have to do laundry twice a week to, like,
Keep up.
Yeah.
And we also have a benefit, which I don't like, but our laundry is out in our garage.
Oh,
So, like, the transferring of it, I think that if it were in our house and just kind of there, it would be different. But because we have to, like, transfer, and also we only have one laundry basket, so we do have to clear it. And so I think we're pretty on top of it.
You're better at the quicker folding, but I think we're both pretty good at getting it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think that the benefit of just not having that many clothes, because, like, truly, I mean, our son the other day was like, I don't have any pants. It's like, okay, we
Keeping
gotta
up with
we gotta
the
get
growing
on
of
it.
the children.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is somehow we have like no size 5 pants. Did Elliot not wear pants when he was 5? I don't understand. It's weird. You'd think we would have everything we need for Owen, but we don't somehow.
You know what though? I think people deal with clothes so differently. I used to get a lot of hand-me-downs from my sister, and they had a lot of clothes, they buy a lot of clothes, they're big into clothes, and so we'd get these nice hand-me-downs. We wear our clothes like to the ground, so there's nothing to be given.
Handed down.
It's just like it's one and done.
There's a little bit of that, but it just disappears.
We're big into fast fashion too. We're a big supporter.
Oh, where do you buy your kids' clothes?
We just throw it all. We do buy, unfortunately, a lot of it, but again, it's not that much. From I like Zara. They have cute.
I didn't even know they have
it's
kids'
bad.
clothes.
It's really bad for the environment. But then we buy
Zara, Target,
Old
Navy sometimes, J. Crew.
But to us, it's it's
Target
all
has good kids' clothes.
It
Which
does,
one?
yeah. Target does.
Yeah.
And we have some sensory stuff in our house, and I feel need soft, and
Yes.
Target's very aware of not having tags and all of that stuff. So,
Yes.
but
But I feel like every brand is probably horrible.
fast fashion.
Yeah.
right now.
I mean, it seems
Yeah.
like everything's fast fashion, right?
Yeah.
I was doing Carter's for a while, and that is,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that, I don't know, is that fast fashion? I don't know.
What's bad about fast fashion?
It's just so bad for the environment, and also the
Labor.
The labor, yeah.
It's under horrible conditions, underpaid, usually coming from China. And
Usually clothes don't last as long as clothes
it's
used to.
cheaply made,
Yeah.
and it's also the landfills. There's a documentary I watched about this, but all the clothes get sent to some country, and first of all, to pay to send these tons and tons of used clothes to this other place to deal with, and then it just sits there like a landfill. It's not in our minds we think, oh, we're taking this to Goodwill, and whatever's not used is going to be recycled or something. And the truth of it is we have not found a good system yet, and it's a huge cause of pollution.
I'm recently into the idea of spending a lot of money on a shirt that will last 20 years.
That's what you should do.
I was looking at some button down shirts that and it's always these rich fuckers, that have that money. It's oh, this shirt was from my grandfather, but it's it's such a nice shirt and so well made, and the collar's a little frayed, but it's those are the clothes you end up loving the most because they just have that worn in feeling.
And also they're well tailored. I mean, tailoring makes such a huge
tailored,
difference.
yeah.
I think with kids, because they're growing so
Yeah.
much, it's different. But I haven't bought new clothes in a very long time because I'm trying not to. And we're at a situation where I'm if I buy something, something's got to go. But I was doing Rent the Runway, which is you pay a monthly fee and you get to rent a certain amount of clothes, but it's usually pretty high end. So it's if I need a dress for a Christmas party and I don't want to go spend $500 on the dress, I can rent this dress. And then what I do is if there's something I absolutely just love, you can buy it at a discount. So then I'll buy that, and I'm I know I like it. It's usually really good quality. Like you're saying, it'll last me a long time. So that was kind of my clothing hack for a while. But I haven't had I've had no galas or events in quite a while. So
Yeah.
even the PTA, it's nothing.
I don't have a lot of galas coming up either. What happened?
There used
Where
to be
are the
galas.
galas?
We just got a whole bag of galas.
Little Apple
Thank
humor.
you, Tony.
Okay, here's one. Amy Christensen says, when I'm reading a book and can tell there's going to be a big reveal, I put my hand over the text in case my eyes inadvertently dart to it. I do that. I totally do that.
Oh, I love that.
That's fun.
You would ruin it for yourself.
Well, I
That's
also
what you do.
like to read the last page first, and I spoil stuff. But if I'm in reading an article or something, or there's something where I know I want to savor it, then I will cover my hand because I have the urge to see what's going to happen.
Wow.
I don't mind spoilers though. I oftentimes will spoil things
You're
for
fun
myself
to
on
watch
purpose.
shows with. We'll be watching a show together, and she'll be "Oh, I saw what." And,
No, but I don't spoil it for you. I just
No,
let you
but
know that I know.
yeah.
And then I like to know, and then I like when you ask questions, and I'm like, how much info should I give him? Did you get the Baby Gaze 411?
Yeah, it says that the guy who invented them, Leo Gerstenzang, It says he found himself watching his wife applying cotton wads to toothpicks in an attempt to reach hard-to-clean areas, and that inspired him to make them.
On a baby.
And those areas being...
It
Butt
doesn't,
crack.
Yeah, doesn't give any specifics there.
Cotton wads on a toothpick. That just seems like sharp.
Also, like, the is she gluing it? Because the cotton...
Right, it's not gonna stay.
Where you pushed it. Like,
Right.
stay on the...
I don't know.
She probably had a technique.
Sounds like he had to, and what is it? Necessity is the mother of invention. He had to because she was harming herself or
Yes.
sweet gay.
Baby
Yeah.
gay.
Let's do Podcast Pals product picks.
Podcast Pals product picks.
Ooh.
Who wants to go first?
I will.
Please.
This product, I sent the link to you, and I don't know what it's actually.
Oh, I can look it up.
Can you look it up?
Yeah.
Is used at least once, if not twice a week in our home. And it is a bug catcher, and it is so useful. And it's basically like a wand, and at the end of it, there's a box, and on the wand, there's like a little slidey thing. So you put the box over the bug.
We have one of
I
these.
think, I got one of those for Owen.
Yeah.
It's so yes, it's meant and marketed for kids because there's a like magnifying glass and you can check out the bugs. We use it just because I don't like to kill bugs, and so we frequently are taking the little critters outside, and I use it all the time. Like it's constantly in use in our
It's
house.
better than what we have. We have something called a Bugzooka, and it's got like this. It's like a tube with an accordion end, and on the other end is a
chamber.
mesh, and a tube, and basically you cock it, and then there's a button, and you kind of put it up next to the bug, and it sucks the bug in real fast.
Oh.
But it often cripples the bug. Like you think you're being
Yeah.
humane, but then the spider
Made it worse,
like this, and
yeah.
then you dump it, and it's just like, "What? Thanks, asshole." Yeah, so,
It's also so loud. It's like, it's a frightening machine.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's not.
So this is called the
better.
Carson Bug View 5 times magnifier quick. It's a catchy name. Quick release bug catching tool. But yes.
I love it.
Now, do you enjoy the magnification of the bug?
Sometimes. So last week,
Yeah.
there was it's like a special jumping spider in our room, and there had been one on my car, so I knew what it looked like.
How did you know it was jumping?
Because the one that was on my car, I was like, whoa, what is this? And I took a picture. It had like fuzzy legs and like this crazy face.
How big?
Pretty big.
Nah, fuck that.
And I then posted something about it because I was like, do I need to move? Like, are we going into witness protection?
Your house now.
But and people are like, that's actually this really cool spider. I looked it up. It's very docile. It looks crazy, but it's this. What's the show with the spider?
Oh, right. It's a name
like
of a spider. I'm
Show.
sorry, I don't know.
There's like a show with a spider, and it's very cute. This spider, and it's based on these spiders.
Oh.
And so once I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh. And if you look at its face, it really is really cute. And there was one in our room last week. And so I got it, and then I took it out and I showed the kids, and we were all looking at it. I took it out to the studio, showed Andy, and it was very exciting. And then I released it into the wild to go be with its brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I've recently, I've been very anti-insect and anti-bug my entire life. Like, I have no use for them. I don't want them near me. I know people get upset about things happening to bees, and I'm like, it's hard for me to care.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Sure. Okay.
Very, very, very strongly opposed to ants.
Uh-huh.
In our house, if someone needs to kill a bug, I can do it a little better. But so, I don't know I'm trying to remember the first thing that happened. I don't know, but we had these ladybug larvae that were Owens, and we had to give them a little water each day. And I began to really look forward to it, and I had an affection for them. And yeah, now I'm like coming around on insects, which is very strange.
Wow,
That's
okay.
I have, for a while, I have been putting a cup over them and then a piece of paper and carrying them outside. So I don't like to kill them. I'm just saying it's been easier for me.
I will say, so I watch a lot of like true crime fucked up shit, and there's there's this show on Max that I actually recently stopped watching because I'm like, this is not good for me. It's called Evil Lives Here. It's about living with like sociopaths and stuff like that. And such a common thing is getting joy out of like creating, hurting animals and stuff like that. And I know insects are not animals.
Oh, they are.
But I do think, I think it's fine if people are killing insects. I get it. We kill ants and stuff like that. But I was somewhere out of town and I was visiting acquaintances who had kids, and I was watching them delight in killing insects in kind of cruel seeming ways. And I was like, oh my gosh, I do not want to model this for my kids at all. So that's where that bug catcher came in. And I'm like, I want to find a way where it's not annoying. And I think it's been very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit of a just mirror everyone for me, is when I kill a bug without remorse, I think of the Nazis.
Wow.
And I think this is how it started. Like, it's so dark.
But we did create little ovens that we put the bugs in.
Yeah.
So that might have
We
been-
put them to work first.
Well, that's wild.
No, but
it was a little extreme. I felt weird about it when we did it.
no, the fact that I can just kill a bug is like the fact, and I know that it's different, but the fact that I can do it without remorse is like, I'm a little chilled by that in me.
When I was a kid, I would spend a lot of time killing ants, and I do look back at that sometimes and go, "What the fuck?" Because it would be like
With like a magnifying glass or just stomping them?
all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have had it with these
There's
bugs.
something about that line of ants, and I would just crush them all, and so, we would pour water in their ant holes and just delight in. We never did this, but the idea of pouring gasoline and then lighting it on fire.
oh my God.
This has been really fun, guys.
But it was only ants. It was only ants. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure it's like childlike curiosity about being all powerful and stuff. But I also
think
think
so.
that's one of those things,
think so.
if the adults in your life aren't modeling like compassion for all living things, and that means, then how else are you supposed to? You probably watched adults doing that and getting into it.
We would tie, those green June bugs?
No, I don't want to hear bug torture stories.
Those beetles that have the metallic green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would tie thread to their leg, and then let them go, and then tie the other end to your finger, and it would be like a little
Little kite.
a little kite,
Look, bug kite.
bug kite.
And then what happened? You eventually let them go
I imagine
and give
we
them
let
a little
go
tiny
somehow. I
sandwich,
don't
right?
recall the letting them go part.
Them a little sandwich.
For the road.
Here's a Capri Sun, a bologna sandwich.
And a cheese and crackers with a little tiny knife.
Oh, wow.
Well, listen, we all
Anyway.
made it through. I mean, a lot of bugs didn't, but
No.
we all did.
Wow.
To make it clear, though, I do now try to save the bugs. Okay.
That's good.
Andy, what was yours?
Oh, I have this little stand thing I use with my phone.
Oh.
It's called a
Ooh.
Kinu stance, and it's like this magnet that goes on, and it folds in all these different ways.
Oh, that's cool.
I use this as
that
like my
is cool.
webcam with my computer, but I mean, it has a magnet. So you
For your OnlyFans account?
for my OnlyFans, but it just can bend in a crazy amount of different ways, and I use it constantly. I love it.
So when you say you use this for your webcam for your computer, like on Zoom, you use that?
Yes, because my laptop in the studio is to the side, and I have an external monitor, and so then on Zoom you can just pick your iPhone as your camera.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's like a fun little thing,
Yeah.
and it looks better.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks
This was
for
so
having
fun.
us.
I worry
This was
we
so fun.
frightened you.
Just the bug stuff.
Where do you
All
come
right.
down on bugs?
It's interesting because I'm for them and against them. So sometimes I kill them, sometimes I don't.
I'm also vegetarian. Like I'm just kind of across the board. I err on the side, but I'm like, eat meat if that's your thing. I don't pressure Andy in any way. So people killing bugs, I don't judge.
Just so you don't feel so alone. there was a cricket in the toilet and I was taking a piss and I found myself all of a sudden pissing on the cricket and thinking like, what? I'm a monster. Why am I doing this? Why not just at least flush first?
But you don't know what it's into.
That's true. Just to be clear, because I had a lot of follow-up questions, he wasn't like aiming at the cricket. He was just peeing in the toilet that a cricket was.
Oh, I thought you were
floating in.
targeting.
It
the
wasn't
cricket.
like the
I feel
squirt
like,
gun.
I'm sorry, if I'm peeing in a toilet and there's a critter in there, sorry. Target. You are now a target.
Well, you ladies might not know this in urinals.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, there's there's a bumblebee, like where you aim your pee in some urinals.
I didn't
Why?
know that.
Painted on or on the plastic, whatever you call
I
it.
don't know
bee?
this. I always assume they've calculated the physics of it.
Yeah, it's like the
That's
perfect spot, probably.
Why did
the
they
least
pick a
splat.
bee?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
It's just like whatever that company picked a bee and it's kind of become the thing.
Oh, pee on the bee.
That's probably why.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But just so Andy's it's not ideal, but he wasn't like
It's not
it's
deviant
not,
behavior.
It's not as bad as it
No,
could
right. I
sound.
understand.
Okay.
But you didn't.
I still think I'm like number 3 on the harming insects in this room. Like, you know,
What did I do?
you're number 2 for sure.
I know, but why?
You have a history.
Because you said you had a history of always killing them.
Oh yeah.
Without remorse. I think those were the words. Which is fine. Just fine.
It feels out of character for me.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That is why I think of dark moments in history, because
It's a lesson.
no one thinks they're capable of it. But
It's
look
the
at me
hate-
just
the
smushing.
hate enters your
it's
heart.
the fear.
That's what
It's
you're
the fear and the
capable
hate.
of, the fear.
You came into my bedroom.
Right.
All right, glad we got. Okay, anyway, where might people find you guys?
I was going to make a joke, but you can find us at Nobody's Listening Right on Instagram, and our podcast is Nobody's Listening Right. It's everywhere, and I'm Elizabeth Laime on Instagram,
And I'm Dr. Rosen. Andy Rosen on Instagram. Yeah. I think you
Dr.
can just-
Rosen, something I've been called my whole life.
You too? Mm-hmm. Love it.
Really?
Love it.
Oh my gosh,
Fletch, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Of course.
You seem sad about it. He's really embraced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you've made it your name.
Yeah.
I think it's that thing of when you're young, you don't want to be called something masculine.
Mm.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I'd be fine with it now.
What's masculine about it? Rosen?
Oh,
Doctor?
Oh my God, that's so sexist. Well, no, the character is.
Well, yeah,
It's a man
and
in the
also
movie.
the joke is it's Dr. Rosen penis, right?
Oh, yeah, there is
Oh, right.
an element to that too. Good point.
Oh.
So just go watch Fletch and it'll all make sense. I'm sure it holds up.
Fletch and Caddyshack are two movies that are quoted endlessly by a lot of people in my life that I never quoted myself. So
Yeah.
some of those are lost on me.
I actually haven't seen Fletch. Maybe it would mean more to me if I had.
I don't think it would make a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Tony. Nope. Daniel. Sorry. I always forget the order.
Well, I'm on Blue Sky now, I guess. Daniel Quantz, but I'm still everywhere else. So, whatever.
Great. Tony.
Very little happening these days. Occasionally on Instagram at Tony Thaxton. That's about it.
Nice.
I forgot to say hello and welcome to the new patrons. Let's just wedge that in right now.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
Hello, Mary Gartner. Hello, Ashley Gamble. And hello, Laura Rubin. Welcome. Thank you so much for all the Patreon support. You may have noticed this was an ad-free experience. People pay so much for that, but you guys got it for free because I am relying on your direct support. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen. If you liked the show over the years or you like it now, honestly, any way you feel about it, patreon.com/Allison Rosen, and then also AllisonRosen.substack.com.
Substack.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time